before I dive into what I want to share, I have to share this. So I'm out back at my place on a swing. And if you've ever tried filming yourself or shooting a video, it's, especially for me, I haven't done this very long. It gets a little nerve-wracking and you're trying to make sure everything is laid out and perfect. Then you have a 16-month-old son who is banging on the glass door, screaming, going nuts because he wants your attention. And then he calls you on FaceTime with your wife's phone and completely destroys the last video you shot. So wanted to share some of the hurdles that I had to come over to do this video. And then I love my little bacon neck here, because having a kid, you're not as cleaned up as you used to be. So I noticed that all these little things for having a son who I love has changed me a little bit here. So I'm sorry for the shirt. But anyway, so I have some things I wanted to share, insight on tips to flipping properties. So like this is an arm to the other things I do in real estate. However, flipping is a great, I think, injection of cash. And it's a good injection of cash if you're okay with taking it on cyclically, which to me would be in 4 months, 6 months. So if you're doing it part-time, if you're, I have cops who I know personally that I wholesale deals to, who supplement their income with flipping, or other professionals. This is a great way to make a salary in one clip. And over time, as you scale or really get comfortable in the flipping business, you're able to do several of them. But what I would say initially, speaking to some new investors, even if you're a little savvy, these are tips and myths that I wanted to bust and help give you some guidance and some thinking on these things that I've seen by doing so much, flipping, and especially lately. And tip number one, I'd say, is really going into the deal not always using cash. Okay. Now, what I mean by saying is not always using cash is bringing in another lender or a partner or a hard money lender. Share a little bit of the wealth. I'd say give up some interest in the deal, or quote unquote equity, to not park all your cash inside the deal. And sometimes, you could look at it in a lot of different ways. Like, well, I'm going to lose $10,000 in interest or $12,000 in paying someone else a fee, so that cuts down on my profit. Correct. However, it allows you to have a couple things. One, you have a bunch of extra cash in the bank, which makes you feel more comfortable. And another thing, it allows you to scale, so you can take that cash and park it into 2 other deals. So the way I look at it is, if I have 3 deals and I put all my cash in one, it doesn't allow me the opportunity of the other 2 deals. So I've ran scenarios which, by the lack of having the capital, you missed out on 2 extra deals, which could prevent you from making $50,000+ in income or in profit. Okay, so you are missing out in $50,000 in additional net income by parking all your cash in one deal to save $10,000. So that's a scarcity mindset on flipping. So start thinking about not putting all your cash into a deal and finding a lender, or whether it's a private lender that would charge you interest or a hard money lender. They're out there. As long as the deals they make sense, people will fund them. Another tip is using neutral paints. Using neutral paints, I've noticed and seen throughout the years, they work better. So whatever's trending in the neutral paints, go that direction. Do not try to create Picassos. I've tried it. It looks amazing. They sell. Neutral paints are the way to go. It helps eliminate the thinking, and really buyers like neutral paints. So go neutral paints, okay? Another tip is getting in a habit of finding subcontractors and personally adding subcontractors to the mix, okay? So what this is gonna happen, and this is gonna help you, is as you scale, not on your first one, but if you're gonna do 2, 3, 4 flips at a time, or you're doing series of flips and there's a rhythm, having subcontractors to complement your contractor, okay? So what that means is your contractor is gonna be more of a skilled carpenter. He's gonna do millwork, trim, hang drywall. He can put the cabinets together. He can do all the little punch list stuff. That's what your contractor's for. Your subcontractors are your electricians, your plumbers, HVAC guys. A roofer would be a subcontractor, roofer and siding guy. Maybe your GC can do it. However, long-term, adding subcontractors is going to actually keep the cost of your jobs down and speed up your jobs, which means there's going to be more profit. Okay. If you run a KPI on this, if you speed up your jobs and you also make sure you have subcontractors who they're going to come down on price, and it's going to put a lot more money in your bank account. So getting in the habit of hiring subcontractors. With that being said, you're going to need someone to manage it. So in the beginning, I would always suggest managing it yourself, learn how to project manage, and eventually adding some automations like different technology pieces and a project manager. It will actually make the jobs go faster, smoother by having someone overseeing it and managing it. Next tip, okay, would be paying these contractors and subcontractors. Never pay them 50% out of the gate, no matter what they say. This is the reason why. You are in full control. Contractors generally have very interesting personal lives. Instead of you getting into the dynamic of the Jerry Springer stuff on the back end, this is what is going to help hedge it. Paying them 25% up front, 25% at the midway point or when there's a rough inspection, and then 50% when it's finalized and everything's passed by the township. Make them play by your rules. So pay them 25, 25, 50. Okay. So those are some little tips that I wanted to give you. Hopefully that, you know, those are things that you can add to your game, or I would say consider. Tip number one about not buying everything in cash could be a little bit more of a shell shocker for some, but it does. Think about it, think it through, even run your own scenarios. There's a lot of value there and benefit. And as you're going from one to more, start considering these contractors, subcontractors, paying them, the neutral paint thing. And I'll keep popping in, throwing out a lot of my thoughts. But if you see value here, please feel free to like it, share it. I'd love to, see anything specifically that you want to talk about. I enjoy this. I enjoy sharing my losses financially, some of my gray hairs I've gotten to along the way. But it's a fun business. I look forward to it every day. It's a challenge. And best of luck.